Farrakhan.
I'm interested in titles. Like, I'm interested in what.
No. I hear you. No. And I'm educated.
You can go to Africa now, and there'll be a whole heap of men come out and give you titles and this guy.
Of course. Of course.
I don't care about titles and men celebrating.
No. If you were interested in groundwork, you left the brother in the nation whom you disrespected to educate you about the work that we're doing. We have Nation of Islam locations in Jamaica. We have Nation of Islam in Nigeria. We have them in the UK. We have them in Haiti.
I know
all over.
I've been to the one in the UK. I've spoken at the Nation of Islam in the UK. I know.
Oh, good. So if you know, then you would know how to address. Once again, you're proving right now, brother, that you directly disrespected and you intentionally disrespected just by the way you commented under my post. I do apologize, brother. So I hear you, but at the same time, even if it were someone who you follow or a nation that you belong to, etc., whatever it is that you're a part of, I would be respectful in at least speaking, because the thing that you said reflected on the fact that you don't know the actual facts because the FBI files have not been released yet. So how can you say anything even with Minister Farrakhan?
My opinion of Malcolm being a greater man than Minister Farrakhan or Elijah Muhammad, my opinion, which I'm entitled to.
Okay, thank you. Everyone heard, so that's your opinion. I appreciate that, brother. I definitely appreciate that. And when you said a part of the effery, okay, the fuckery, right? As far as Brother Malcolm being assassinated, etc. When you made that statement, what proof do you have that Minister Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam was a part of it? What actual solid proof do you have?
I don't have any solid proof or any solid evidence, but the rhetoric was that everybody at the time were against Malcolm X. They weren't coming out to protect him. They were the ones who were basically saying, no, it's okay for anybody to do whatever they want to him, or we'll do it to him. So that's why it seems like they were a party to him, and kind of defend him.
I can clear that up. I can clear that up.
Yeah.
No, I can clear that up for you. In the Nation of Islam, when you are silenced or you are sat down for 90 days, right? That's one of our rules. And you know, every organization has its own rules. You know, you're on probation for a week if you do the probation. But you know, you go to school, you do an academic probation. Right? No.
I was in the army. Well, I was in the British Army, and I disobeyed the rules there, and then they tried to do certain things. But I was like, whatever, because
yeah. And I don't know how they operate in the British Army, but in the Nation of Islam, for instance, one of the simple policies is 90 days. You know, if you do certain things that are disobeying or go against the rules, right, of our military. Everybody has military, but he did that. He commented on the assassination of John F. Kennedy, which every member, not just Malcolm, every minister was told not to comment on the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Why? Because Americans love John F. Kennedy. That's what they said. Very simple. The messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, was very wise. He told all the members, do not comment on that. Don't do that. Brother Malcolm stepped out of ranks when he said this. He said, well, I think it's a simple case of the chickens coming home to roost. That was not okay. He disobeyed the authority. Everybody was told.
Did he leave the nation after that?
No. He, after a certain point, he was sat down multiple times, just so you know. He was told not to speak at this point, not to speak at this point. It was multiple times, okay? Until he left. It led up to that. Until he left. And it wasn't that, he woke up and he found out that there were white Muslims in Mecca and he could go and pray with white Muslims and, I guess they're not devils because, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad lied to me. No, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was teaching white Muslims around his table all the time. He was teaching white people constantly for years. So that was not true. Number two, he did not go to Mecca in Arabia before the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That also is not true. And three, he said, I guess, he told me no devils can go to Mecca. No, because devil or that name is a bad name after faith. If you are embracing the tenets of Islam, you embrace those core principles of Islam. This is what we teach, by the way. Then you can't call that person a devil if they are operating out of those righteous principles. Very simple. So that was a big lie. He got poisoned in Egypt. Malcolm did, and he said they are not members of the Nation of Islam. The people who poisoned me were not the Nation of Islam. And the last point, to just clear all this up, at the very end, he wasn't being protected. Why? Because he was not in the nation at the time. So that is what happened. But under his not being protected, right, from the CIA, FBI, who had been watching him for years, but have been watching the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad for 25 years. This is on YouTube. You can hear it as well. He wasn't being protected, but the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad told every member of the Islam, do not touch Malcolm. Leave Malcolm alone. All of the members, leave him alone. And in the Audubon Ballroom, when he was assassinated, the Audubon Ballroom, under Malcolm's call, under Malcolm's words, he said to not secure the door. He knew that security doorpost, you must have someone checking the people coming in and going out. You must make sure no weapons are coming in, because the climate at that time was very high. So I'm not exonerating every member of the Nation of Islam. Every is jealous of me right now, probably in the nation, and definitely people outside of the nation who are envious and jealous of me. However, who did the murdering? Who did the killing? That is where we need to really look at it.
I'm not saying the nation did it. I'm saying that it appears to somebody outside of the nation that they were. The rhetoric afterwards is that everybody was proud that he was dead.
No. Everybody was not proud that he was dead. Mind you, you nor I were alive back then. So let's make that very clear, right? So there are even things that I don't know still. There are things you don't know and things that I don't know still, because we weren't alive at the time. However, what is known is when Brother Malcolm was murdered, assassinated, killed, Eugene Roberts was an agent. Eugene Roberts, by the way, you can look at Gene Roberts, Gene Roberts interview dealing with the murder of Malcolm X. He confesses the truth, talks about how he worked for the United States government, talks about how he was an agent, talks about all of this. That's on there as well. Because oh, good, very good. So
and I've been
good.
and spoken to Atala as well, and I just feel like the way that Malcolm was moving was he had a global think mentality. After he was Detroit bred, and then he was in the nation, and what he was starting at the end of his life was something that needs to continue, and it feels like to me that isn't continuing in any significant way for global unity, African unity. I, for one, want to say that, I respect people's religions, but I'm not interested in the religion before I'm interested in the people, because there's many people who, you wouldn't call religious in Congo, for instance, who are getting murdered so that we can have iPhones. Right, and that's something that a lot of people not only are not speaking about, but they're not also putting their own bodies, their own times and resources to stop these things from happening. And it seems like you can be the man at the top of the mountain, right, meditating and be spiritually awakened. You can be the group of people who are all looking out for each other as a small secular group. But what are we doing